having the pleasure to speak to this morning?
You know me, Donisha.
What's been going on with you since the last time we talked?
Mm, Struggling to take the final steps in getting my life back together. It's like I want to, but I don't want to. It's like I'm ready to get the old me back, but I'm not ready to let go of the person that is hindering me from getting the old me back.
Have you made any progress thus far?
I wouldn't think so. If I'm honest, I wouldn't say so. Because I know what to do, and I'm trying to figure out why am I so unwilling to live my best life, you know. Does that make sense?
Have you fooled yourself into thinking you living your best life now, and it's like, why give it up?
Oh no. Oh no. I don't fool myself with that.
Because you're saying you're having a hard time kind of letting go and moving forward. So it's like, what's the difficulty in your opinion?
The difficulty is the difficulty is I'm trying to serve two masters, and anybody who knows that can't work.
Going back to the last conversation that we had, which was the first,
Mm-hmm.
your scholastic achievements, that you said something about an internship with NASA. Can you please take us into how that came about, how you were qualified, like the whole experience? Can you just walk us through that experience? Because that's, what year are we talking?
1993, the summer of 1993 and 1994.
Please walk us through that, because that's, NASA is like, that's it's an outer space type of situation, but it's like, that's unfathomable for most people, especially from East St. Louis. Like, it's like nobody even talks about NASA. It's like, please just take us through that experience and how that came
Crash
up.
landing. Okay, I can. That didn't work. Well, I went to Morehouse in September of 1992. Hold on a second. And you all have to forgive me. I'm trying to multitask.
Mm-hmm.
He understands, but I want you all to too. Hold on. Oh, Laclede's Landing. Okay. So, I I was majoring in math and electrical math and no. At first, I was majoring in chemistry, and my counselor told me about a scholarship that they had from the NASA program, where I would do 3 years at Morehouse, then 2 years at Georgia Tech, and at the end of the 5 years, I would have two. Oh my God, my phone's gonna die. I would have two BSs, a BS in math from Morehouse, and then a BS in chemistry from Georgia Tech. So I applied. I got accepted. It was a full ride, and one of the stipulations was had to do a summer internship. I was trying to pull the picture up. You don't have a C-type charger. And each summer, it was a $3,600 stipend. Have to spend 12 weeks at one of the stations. I was assigned to the Stennis Space Station in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. it was different. It was cool because I got to see a whole another world. It's like coming from East St. Louis being predominantly black, uh, and in Morehouse, then going to the space station. It's like not too many blacks there, but I didn't experience like any like racism or anything like that. Um, Actually, I think everybody was kind of excited to see young black people, you know, get into what we call today the STEMs. But you know, back then it was just math and science. So um, it was fun. It was exciting. Um, I didn't complete it, unfortunately. My junior year, that's when I started exploring my gender identity in public. I started expressing myself as a female, and it just became impractical to walk around Morehouse campus dressed and living as a woman. You know, if you can understand 1994, that's a totally different time, and there was a lot of pushback. My counselor was like, that's not a good idea. So I made what I call a foolish choice because my impulse, I wanted what I wanted, and just the ability to be able to express myself physically how I felt inside and get the response from people, men in particular, that I always wanted, it was intoxicating. So school became boring. And then what topped it off is I had enough scholastic experience, I had enough skills, I had enough intelligence, and able to sell myself where at 19 years old, I was able to get like good jobs, like $16 an hour. If you think of 1994, $16 an hour, that's a lot of money. So in my mind, I was like, okay, we've done enough schooling, to where, okay, we got what we can out of it. So I was starting to do help desk IT. That's the field that I had gone in. I stayed in that field. In 1999, I had a contract with Coca-Cola, and I was actually probably the first trans manager in their IT department. Life was good. It was like 1999, and I was renting a 5-bedroom house. I had a relationship. I was producing demos for people, aspiring musicians in the Atlanta area. Making like $40,000, had a car. And while my mom was at first like disapproving of my living as a woman, when she came to visit me and actually saw how I lived, and she saw that it wasn't a joke. It wasn't, like she saw me get up in the morning, put on my pantyhose, put on my skirt, put on my jacket, put on my pumps, get ready to go to work. She actually saw that I was living life, and that gave her a different perspective on it. So some people might think, well, being trans is the reason why, like things aren't working, but actually it's not. Being trans has never stopped me. It's never stopped me. If I'm honest, the only thing that has ever impeded my growth, my success, has been my addiction to crack. Because like I just had too many talents. Like I'm a gifted singer, articulate, intelligent, technologically astute. And it's like I was pretty much as close as you can get to the total package. I mean, not to say that arrogantly, but in trying to be okay with myself, I had to take an honest assessment because I realized, okay, people aren't going to be okay with me. So I have to be okay with me. And I have to make sure that I put my best foot forward so they can say what they want, think what they want, but you can't deny talent. You can't deny knowledge. You can't deny skills. You can think what you want, but you can't deny somebody who's good at what they do. And that is what has always garnered me my respect. The fact that, okay, I was good at what I did, you know. But then addiction took a hold and took its toll and made things very difficult, you know. It's very, very difficult at the moment because every day I say, this is the day that I'm going to just stop. But it's almost as if I have set my environment up where I can't help but get high. No. Yeah. I set the environment up that way. You know. I was like, okay, well, I can't work a normal 9 to 5 and do drugs because I'd be too high to go to work. So I've been able to do online escorting, but because that eats away at my spirit, it's like I have to be high to do that. So it's like this never-ending cycle, because it's like, to be able to make myself okay with giving up my temple to strangers, I can't be in my right mind, you know. And it's just unfortunate. It really is. I'm breaking my own heart, you know. I've gotten past the point of worrying about the effect it has on other people, because, I mean, they're collateral damage. At this stage in the game, the effect that it has on me is what's killing me. The effect that it has on me. Because I have always been a committee of one. I've never really made any decisions based on someone else's opinion. You know, I do what I want to do. You know, I've never been a follower. You know, peer pressure has never really been my thing, because I've always been different. You know, I've always been like the leader of the pack, you know, and like march to my own drum. So in the stage that I'm in right now, it's like nobody's opinion or assessment of how I'm living really matters but mine. And I don't say it to be selfish. I say that because I'm at the stage in the addiction where nobody can love me through this, help me through this, encourage me through this, support me through this. This is a singular battle. This is a singular battle. So I stay away from people who tend to get emotionally invested, because I don't want them to waste their investments. You know, I figure I'll come back around when I'm the person that you all know me to be, you know, and expect me to be. It's not, like, I can't go around my family like this. My family, like, they all pretty much said, we don't have a problem with you being transgender. We have a problem with you being a crackhead. You know, because being transgender has never stopped me from doing anything. It really hasn't, you know. And this has really been hard on my family, because growing up, I was the golden child. I mean, if you can imagine going from, like, you know, being valedictorian, like, my junior high graduation could have been the Donisha McShan show, because I won every award. Then I sang at the show. So, I mean, it's like, I pretty much was up there on the stage the whole time. You know, to go from being the star of the youth choir, you know, and just having so many gifts and talents and such success, you know, to approaching 50 and barely having anything, really. It's heartbreaking to me.
You still have your gifts.
Well, that's not because of me. Like, and honestly, that's the thing that has me contemplating to go ahead and leave this alone, because I'm like, God, why do I still have my voice? Like Whitney Houston was my idol, and I'm like, okay, when she died at 48, it's like she near the end she really was really couldn't sing. Let's just be honest. And it's like, God, it's like I've been abusing crack for 23 years. Why me? It's like, why is my voice still excellent? And I know the answer because I'm a very spiritual person. And it's because he's literally keeping a hedge around it, because I have some ministering to do. And I'm unwilling to walk into my purpose and my calling, because I know once I do, I cannot vacillate between being an evangelist and this encourager and this light and living in darkness. I know that. And I'm just not willing to make the sacrifice to actually have the discipline to toe the line. That's really all it is. I'm not willing to make the sacrifice to be that person, because I'm the type of person, I couldn't do that and be hypocritical. It would destroy me. I wouldn't come back from the guilt and the shame. So I know that when I do it, I have to be on the up and up. I have to be clean. I have to be sober. I have to be, law abiding. I have to be positive. I have to have everything together, because I want to be one of those people where my walk matches my talk, where my life is more of a sermon than anything that comes out of my mouth. Those are the most effective people in the world. Like, even in this life, like I was listening to some people last night, and they were just like, I'm one of the kindest people. Like, down here in the hood, in the dope set, they're like, I'm one of the, and that's because I really can change the essence of who I am. At my core, at my essence, I do gifts of service. I have a servant's heart. That's what I do. And I'm just grateful that this addiction hasn't taken the essence of who Donisha is. It's taken a lot of the superficial things. It's taken a lot of the material things. But it's taken a lot of the spiritual things too. But like he said in his word, a bent reed he will not snuff out. And that's just how I feel. I feel I'm a bent reed. I'm not broken, I'm just really bent. But I'm still kindling. And I just want to be ready. I want to be ready.
In closing, Ms. Donisha, if you want to leave us with a little melody, or if you can bless us with something from your repertoire in closing, we would definitely appreciate it.
I wrote this song called Dope Fiend Blues. I felt like crack was just an abusive lover. My man put his thing on me. He feels like it's meant to be, but he leaves much too soon for me. So I pay for one more moment. My man, he tastes salty sweet. I live for the tricks he treats. I'm hooked on his recipe. So I hang for one more moment. He don't love me like I love him. Takes my money and then he's gone. I do much better when I'm with him. 'Cause he's the realest love I know.
Thank you. Thank you. And we wish you all the best. And if there's anything you want to say in closing that you haven't said, now's the time you can say it.
Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet.
Thank you, Miss Donisha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.